Patalano has never met a stranger. At least, they don't stay strangers for long. The Dunedin resident walks the streets of Tampa Bay searching for people to photograph, and his black and white portraits reveal something deeper than what's on the surface.
My name is Sal Patalano. I retired 2 years ago from corporate America, and I started photographing people on the street, and I've fallen in love with it. My recent work has been of Ybor City. Today, I thought we might take a ride down to Ybor. It's part of Tampa. I just think it's a great little area, and I'd love to walk around, on 7th Avenue. I'll try to approach a couple of people and see if they'll allow me, to take their photograph.
Wait, make sure I look good.
My mother bought me my first camera at the old WT Grant in Somerville, Massachusetts, and it cost 99 cents. So I think it's always been in my blood to do that. Believe it or not, I know it's going to be hard to believe, but growing up, I was always shy. I've never had my picture taken in my high school yearbook or my college, never wanted my picture taken, but I think I can approach people. I don't mind the rejection. I'm very fortunate. I think that if I ask and I approach, 20 people, I might get maybe one a rejection. One thing that kind of, I think, breaks the ice is I tell them that, I'm retired. My doctor tells me that I have to walk. So what I do is I use my camera, I walk up and down the streets, and I take photographs of people that I meet on the street. And everybody says, that's good, And then what I try to tell them is, try to tell me something about yourself just by using your eyes. And a lot of times, I think that comes through. Probably sometimes they trust a stranger more than they do, a family member or a friend. There is a photographer by the name of Ted Grant, and he was a photojournalist. And he said that when you photograph people in color, you photograph their clothes. He said, but when you photograph people in black and white, he said, you photograph their soul. And I think it's very true. There's no window dressing, there's no color. It's just the image, and it's the person, and it's the eyes that come through.
The experience of just someone pulling you over and saying, hey, real quick picture, that's it, and here's my information. It's cool because you don't experience that every day. So I just why not? And I mean, it also gives him an opportunity to spread more of his work out.
What I do is I give him my card, and I tell him, if you send me an email, and just describe a little bit who you are, because I photograph a lot of people, I will send them, images via email, always free of charge. I never charge a penny. I have a couple of exhibitions coming up. So that's what I like to do with them. I like to exhibit them. The money goes either to a food pantry or a homeless shelter, so I don't, make any money.
I was out with my family. I walked out, I seen that they were already taking pictures, so I just jumped in the picture. And I really don't have no problem with taking pictures. I'm an artist myself.
I see beautiful faces on the street. I see people that are well-to-do, and then I see people that are not as well-to-do. But I think if you look a little deeper, they're all the same. I saw this gentleman with a hat sitting on a little, window in Ybor. And I first approached him one day, and he didn't want to be bothered. And I could understand. So I went back the next day, and he was sitting there, and I said, do you remember me? And he said, yeah. And I said, can I take your picture? He said, yeah. And I said, what's your name? And he said, William. So it's little stories like that that really touch me. Another one, there's a woman that was sitting on a bench, and I started talking to her, and I found out that she spent her entire career in the Navy. And, this is where she ended up. How does, somebody end up like that? And, and that's another kind of little story that really touched me. And I'll tell you just one third one. It's one of my favorite. Right at the end of Ybor, there's a a little pizza shop, and there was this lady there, and I found out that she was actually hard of hearing, and she couldn't speak. And I motioned to her, and she allowed me to take her photograph. You know, so those are the type of stories that I think really mean a lot to me. I carry some socks. I had heard some time ago at a homeless shelter that one of the things that they ask for most is clean socks. So, you know, I try to accommodate that. I just gravitate to people that might have been walked over, or people that, you know, that nobody may want to see, and sometimes I may go overboard, but it's important for them to be seen. You know, I photographed people in Florida, you know, all the way up the East Coast, New Hampshire, New York City. The thing is that, you know, again, you see a million different faces, you see a million different people, but you know what? When it's all said and done, we're all the same.
You can view some of Sal Patalano's photos on display at the Palm Harbor Library from early April through May 14th. To see more, visit salpatalano.wixsite.com/Sal Patalano Street.